All right, guys, Darren from FBA Elite, and welcome back to another video. So if you're looking to grow your Amazon business in 2022, I'm going to share with you something in this video that a lot of sellers overlook, and it can make a big impact to how well your products sell on Amazon. So that's what we're going to do. This is going to be a fairly short video, but if you are selling on Amazon, I would highly recommend doing this, trying this out, experimenting, which we'll come back to later, and then making adjustments to your listing accordingly. And hopefully that will help you grow your sales throughout 2022 and beyond. So just to kind of add some context to this before I get into the actual tool that I want to show you guys. The tool's completely free, by the way. There's no payment for this. One of, if not the most important metric for the products you sell on Amazon and where you appear in the search results is your conversion rate. So what do I mean by conversion rate? Well, let's say, I'm not typing conversion. Let's type in, let's do the car boot liner. You know, you guys know that I've previously sold this. Conversion rate is how many of the people that click through to your listing. So I'm just going to find one that's not sponsored. Let's click onto their listing. How many people that click on your listing then go on to buy your product. Now, if you've got a really good conversion rate, Amazon's goal is to make sales. So Amazon are more likely to show your product higher up in the search results. If you have a low conversion rate, and they're going to compare you to other products in the niche. So you might think you've got a good conversion rate, but if other products in the niche have got a better conversion rate, then more likely than not, Amazon are going to show their products above yours. So conversion rate is everything. Now, what I see a lot with sellers on Amazon is they launch their Amazon businesses, they launch their products, they see success, and then that's where they stop. They might launch some more products, but when a product's doing okay, they kind of rest on their laurels and just trust that product will continue selling. But they don't experiment enough, and that's what I want you guys to do. So Amazon have a tool that you can use. It's completely free. It's very, very simple, and it will make a big difference to your conversion rate, especially if you're just scraping through at the moment and have never tested any of this stuff before. So let's go on to Amazon into Seller Central, and I'll show you the name of the tool. So if you go to brands on the top right there, and then manage experiments, and that will bring you to this page here. Now, what I'm just going to do before I get into that is just read you very briefly what this is. So about manage your experiments. Manage your experiments lets you run A/B tests, also known as split tests, on your brand's listings content. Experiments let you compare two versions of content against each other so you can see which performs better. At the end of an experiment, you can review which version performed the best and then publish the winning content. By running experiments, you can learn how to build better content that appeals to your customers and helps to drive more sales. So there are 3 areas that you can split test on Amazon directly. Of which 2 I would say are more important than the other. So the first area that you can split test is your main photo, and that is something I talk about again and again and again, how important it is that your main photo stands out. So if you've got a product that's been doing quite well already, or even if you've got a product that's struggling, you can split test trying new images to see how they compare to your current results. And this is where it's really powerful. You can also do it with the product title, which is probably the second most important element. And thirdly, you can do it with A+ content. Let me just scroll down. Let me just close that. So they don't actually have, oh, there we go. There's A+ content down here. So this is A+ content. Now, the reason I don't think it's as important is just like as you've seen there, you know, most people are going to make their decision based on this information. On mobile, A+ content is a little bit higher up, but most people are going to make the decision based on image, title, price, reviews. Some people might read the bullet points, and a few people might do the A+ content. But certainly if I was going to invest a lot of time into this, I would focus it on experimenting with the main photo and with the title, not with the A+ content. So let's go to the actual tool itself. So like I said, go to brands and then manage experiments. And you can choose the type of experiment you want to run, how long you want to run it for. So in the top right corner here, go to create a new experiment, and then you can choose between A+ content, product title, and main image. So A+ content is a little bit more complicated to set up, but like I just said, you want to spend most of your time focusing on the product title and main image, as these are the ones you're likely to see the biggest results from in terms of your conversion rate. So I'm just going to choose main image as an example on this and show you guys how it would work. So initially you get this pop-up, so you can choose from your products which one you actually want to run this test on. So I'm just going to pick one of these as an example. Obviously I've got to blur out the key information, but hopefully you guys get the gist of what I'm doing. and then I can actually set up the experiment. So I can give it an experiment name. So this is just an in-house thing. It's nothing to do with what any customer is going to see. So for example, I might call this the car boot liner one. I might call this boot liner testing with a different car. Maybe I've taken a picture of the boot liner in a different car, or maybe with a different dog. You know, a lot of people like to Photoshop different dogs onto their boot liners, as I've talked about in the past with the product that I used to sell. You can then choose the duration. Now, I would probably go with 4 weeks, as that should be plenty enough time to get the data you need to see whether there is a statistical difference between how they perform. Start date, again, go with the soonest start date that you want to run this, and the end date, of course, that's going to be set automatically based on the duration. And the hypothesis is, again, it's just for your own individual reference. So if you're running multiple experiments, you can pop in here what you were hoping to achieve or hoping to discover by running these experiments. Now, I would recommend only running one experiment at a time. Don't change your main image and your title at the same time, as you won't know which one is delivering the result. So either experiment with your main image, or experiment with your title, or experiment with your A+ content, but don't do more than one at the same time. And then you go through the rest of the process, and then Amazon would then run this for you. And then you'd have the results, and you'd go through and see how your conversion rates had been impacted, what sales have been like, and see whether it's worth making the change full-time from the existing image to the new image, or from the old title to the new title, or from the old A+ content to the new A+ content. So I wanted you guys to be aware of this, as this one does kind of go behind the scenes, and a lot of people don't really know this tool exists. But split testing, on A/B testing your content to make sure you're using the best possible main image or the best possible title for your product is super, super powerful. If you found this useful, I'd really appreciate it. Hit that like button. If you want to see more from me, subscribe to the channel. And what I'm going to do now is pop up a link to a video which shows you guys how to do your keyword research, so that when you come to do this split testing, you've got all the relevant research and you can compare new titles versus old titles. And that tutorial video that's in front of me now, I recommend you guys give that a watch.